Quite a few people coming on live, which is fantastic. So everybody, welcome to tonight's live of tarot and spiritual communication. We are so thrilled that you've joined us here, and basically we have decided to talk about what we absolutely love, but I have a special treat for you. We have, and I will call her the Queen of Tarot, okay? Which is Selena. Selena Joy Lovett. Welcome, Selena.
Hello. I can't see anybody, but
it's fine. Okay, so I'm just sort of keeping an eye on the comments here. So welcome, Selena, and I'm so pleased that you was able to make it this evening. And to join me on here. So Selena, I'd just like to ask you a few questions, if that's okay.
If they're easy ones.
How do we start? I love tarot, and this divination of tools that we use it goes back, doesn't it, centuries. It goes back so much in history, and it's phenomenal tool to work with. So Selena, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get involved with tarot?
Years ago, well, a couple of years ago when I was 20, a while back, I was working with a hypnotist, and we were doing past life regressions, and I was also working with a medium who was going into the past lives in a different sort of angle, and she started telling me about tarot, which was amazing, you know. So she started, I think she gave me a bit of a reading, but she showed me about and it was so mystical, and it was so amazing. I'd never really seen them before, because back then there's no internet. I mean, the only time you saw tarot was sort of down at the fun fair, or, you know, it was quite a hidden thing. It depends what, you know. And I suppose when I think I was in Liverpool when I was about 20, and it was just sort of coming out. There was a lot of more witches around, you know, there was more fairs, and yeah, so, you know, it was more becoming more popular, but it was still a little bit underground. You know, you were very weird, or a witch or a gypsy if you did tarot. But yeah, I fell in love with them. These were my first tarots that aren't in print anymore, but they're they're the Witch's Tarot.
Oh, they don't know. Oh, they're very different, aren't they, to the ones that you can sort of buy. So how old are these ones?
Well, they're out of print, and they travelled everywhere with me, and I lost so many of them, but luckily my friend had brought a pack at the same time, and she gave me hers, true love. So I've still got a full set, but I love them, and they were so easy to read. I mean, I never started learning with the sort of traditional cards, which is like the Rider-Waite cards, or you know, which are very traditional. I've only just got my first sort of traditional set. Somebody gave me them the other day, and they're beautiful, but I've always gone with different types of tarot, and I suppose I started learning intuitively. I just guessed and it came right.
I love it. I guessed and it came right.
Yeah. And then just went more and more into it, because there was so much to discover, you know.
Yes.
And that began and it was so amazing, because when you were stuck and you really didn't understand yourself, and I still do it today, what's my block, you know, what am I doing wrong? And there's so much. I know in general they're used to predict the future, or to say something, what's coming up, but for me it's just to discover what's going on inside yourself or your client, for self-empowerment or self-help. So yeah, I still use them today, and I don't like sometimes what they tell me. I'll say, well, what's wrong with this argument? And they'll say, well, it's because you're being too silly. I'm like, I'm not. it's them. But yeah, sometimes you don't like to hear what they say, but it's what's blocking you moving on. That's what I find.
Because the thing is, some people, that I do agree with you, like with, especially with the tarot, they do seem to have this mystical or vibration with them, don't they?
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, a lot of people look at the tarot and go, oh my gosh, no, not tarot. I think they're brilliant. I love the tarot cards. You know, it's how they're used.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is really nice nowadays, especially with Instagram, and it's becoming more modern, but it's so nice that everybody is starting to have them as a self-help tool, you know, instead of it being so difficult and unacceptable, unavailable. You know, it's used so much in businesses. I mean, and it always has been, really. If you look into a lot of the businesses in China that will use numerology and psychics to set out with their business. But nowadays it seems that people are using intuitives, or whether they're using tarot or not, to help with their business decisions. So it's great. It seems to be really picking up speed and losing that entertainment value, you know, or that sort of more, I was going to say gypsy, but you know, the sort of circus fairground feeling, and becoming a more serious and a self-help tool.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. I think I've actually got mine here somewhere. I've got so many cards here, it's ridiculous. I'm like, if I see a nice deck of cards, I'm like,
I love them.
oh, yeah, here's my ones. I've got the Gilded Tarot.
Oh, I've got them.
Yeah, and the artwork on them, look at that.
They're
beautiful, aren't they? Beautiful. So I must admit, you know, I do think as well, do you find, Selena, that you use different cards intuitively for your clients in an individual aspect?
Yeah, I find that some cards I've brought because they're so pretty, but I've just not ever really connected to them because they feel very flat. But other cards I've got, and they just seem, they're for that person. And I remember when I had a client that came to see me sort of once a week for a long time, I ended up buying a tarot set for her, because she had a very special energy and they just suited her. Because sometimes people need the message, but perhaps in a more gentle way, and others will quite like a sharp shooting card, but they have all got different energy to deliver the message, you know. And it depends. And sometimes when you're dealing with a very heavy subject, sometimes it's just nice to pull even an oracle card and mix it in, or an angel card to lighten up. You know, you may start a reading and it can get quite deep because you're looking at a problem and solving it. And sometimes it's a problem that somebody's not really wanted to look at. So you're bringing up things, looking for solutions. And then it's nice to bring in a card with a different energy, whether it is an angel card or, you know, just so it lightens the message, so it changes the energy of the reading.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we do have a question on here. Kelly Mason, thank you, Kelly, for coming on tonight. She's actually asked you a question here, Selena, saying, how do you know what is the right pack for you? Can you give anyone any advice and a bit of guidance for anyone who's looking into the tarot, and how they would purchase cards?
I think the best way nowadays is to go on to something like Pinterest or Instagram and look at the cards that people are using, and then choose a pack that you really love, you know, just that the images. A lot of people start out with the traditional ones, as I said, which I never did, the Rider-Waite, because this is how you can learn tarot, because it's nice to be able to learn each card, and then you can mix it to, once you know the basics of what all the suits and the energy of the cards, then you can read any pack, you know, because once you know the sort of language, you can just build intuitively on it. And then it's a matter of finding cards that you connect with. There's so many out there. And some of the cards I've brought, you know, that I love, other people have said, oh, I don't like them. And then I've picked other cards that I really liked, but they're just a little bit complicated. So especially when you're starting, because anyone that starts tarot always ends up with at least 10 packs. Be warned. At least. And that's all the ones I admit to. But, and so it is investing, you know, it's finding a basic pack. They're not usually that expensive. Don't go for the expensive ones, you know, just go for a pack that you see. Very popular these days are the light seers. Oh, look, this was the other thing. If you buy online, make sure you get the, you know, if the deal looks too good, it probably is, because if not, you can end up with a very small pack. But these ones are very popular. Oh, the box is empty. Oh, I've got them out somewhere. But the Light Seers Tarot are very nice cards to start with. I've got them out somewhere in my room. They've run away, they've gone shy. There they are. So it's really just picking cards that you like the images of.
Yeah. I think it really has to be a personal choice, doesn't it, really? Because what will work for one person may not gel with another. So we've got a question on here from Claire. Hi, Claire. Thank you for coming on this evening. Lovely to see you. She's actually, it's quite an interesting question, Selena. She's put, can someone who doesn't want to go into the medium side still learn to read the cards?
Yeah, because it is very different energy. With tarot, you're connecting into your intuition and connecting with the other person's aura or psyche, you know, that you're connecting into them. So you're not using spirit mediumship energy, you know, so you're just staying on one level. So you don't have to, unless you ask for help, or you're naturally using that energy, you know, and then you can call in your spirit guides, but you don't have to. You can just work on your own energy, and just trusting and pulling on your intuition.
So if you don't mind, Selena, I would actually like to mention about your own tarot deck that you've produced yourself.
It's really exciting.
Wow, guys, look at these.
So first of all, it's a shame because the artist, Daniela Mantris, which I can never pronounce her name, she is a fantastic artist. And these are like collages that she makes and prints. And so they're all painted. They're all amazing cards. I wish I had them to show you them. And it's called The Journey to Enlightenment. And what it is used for, I haven't got my copy. They come out, they're ready, available for pre-order, and there is the book that goes with them. This is available on Amazon now. But it's really all about using them as a tool for yourself. So they're not so much tarot and just playing with them for everybody. They've got messages on what that card can mean for you, and how to embrace that energy of the card to get you out of a situation, or to enhance the energy. You know, the Ace of Swords might come up, and it's all about the meaning of it, as well as the traditional meaning that's included in the cards. It's also what this can mean for you. It can mean speaking your truth and being more forceful with your words, you know, so it's got the power behind it. So it's very much steps. It's called The Journey to Enlightenment because it's like steps to get to enlightenment. I don't know whether we would get there, but there's steps up to there. Because as we said before, a lot of people come in and say, oh, you know, am I going to get married and have 3 kids? And so it's very difficult in tarot just to say, you know, yes, you're going to meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger and have 3 children, because it can happen. But so this is almost like the steps, the pit cards or the minor cards that will come out in the reading, and more or less the advice and steps you need to take to make that happen, or to help this happen if it's in your destiny. So it's about empowering yourself enough to be able to get over your fears or your shadows to then obtain what you want. So a lot of it is filled with, you know, self-help issues, like the Eight of Swords, which is all about sort of unfounded fears. And so the message behind the card, I think, in the book is really all about taking steps to face your fears, or to use self-hypnosis, to use mantras, to use whatever it is, to, or just taking, you know, bringing mindfulness in and not looking at the big picture, but just taking little steps for you to face those fears, to get up into, you know, to be able to get what you want. So there's a lot of, it's a lot of self-help. It does go quite deep into being able to unblock a lot that comes up. So yeah,
And
fantastic.
they are available in February, is that correct?
Yeah, they're available to pre-order, and the book's already up. And it's got 2 gold stars, look.
Excellent. They look amazing, I must admit. I've put my order in already. So you can pre-order them, and you know, they are actually written from Selena. So you are actually here interacting with Selena, who's actually produced all these herself, and her own manual as well. Now this takes me on to as well, Selena, you're quite established now for the tarot courses as well.
Yeah.
So you've had, I know you've got a bit of a waiting list now as well for some of the courses that you're offering, but would you like to share about your tarot courses and what's involved, and also how long are they as well?
Right, the tarot course, it's you know, because I find with tarot you don't stop, and it's really difficult, because even as you're unraveling the course, because you try to make it easy, or I try to make it easy so everybody can do it, but you can't help with tarot getting deeper and deeper. And then once you start tarot, you know, then it's manifesting with tarot, or tarot magic. There's so many other branches it comes off. But the course, there's 9 lessons or 9 classes via Zoom. And we just start off really with the introduction, to get rid of some of the myths, to bring in the ethics, because it's, you know, as you know yourself, it's so important for everybody to learn that when you're doing something like this, you have to take on a real responsibility. You can't just pull a card and say, oh yeah, the death card, oh, that's bad news for you, because then that person's going to walk out of that reading feeling absolutely terrible and feeling that something's going to happen. So there's a lot about you know, the essence of learning tarot is to let whoever comes in to have some hope and some tools on how to overcome or to face these problems. So the first lesson's a lot about that, and then we just start going into learning all the different cards. Now there's 78 cards, so it's broken down. I think we do 2 lessons on the majors, and then the rest of the time we look at the minors and the court cards, because the court cards are so interesting as well. So we do quite a lot on the court cards. And then the last couple of lessons is just how to start reading them. And we also look at the tarot personality, you know, when you start using numerology to find your tarot personality or your soul purpose. So we have lots of plays.
They do really go into such depth, don't they? This is the thing. And, you know, I quite agree with you there as well, Selena. Like, the tarot is a continuous journey that's never ending. Yeah. As with mediumship, because as you said earlier, you know, mediumship and working with tarot are completely 2 different modalities, aren't they? So as working with the tarot, you're working as a psychic, you know, not actually with direct contact with the spirit world. However, how do you manage, because I know as well that you can combine some of this. So I know that you combine the spirit communication and also with the tarot. How does this work for you, Selena?
First of all, if I'm reading with someone, I ask if they want to hear from spirit, or is it just a psychic reading they want? They just really want to know about the future, and they just want to know with tarot. But if they're open to having a like a hybrid reading, a mixture of a reading, I start off just bringing spirit in, because the energies are much higher vibrations. So starting off high to connect with spirit, bringing through some message or evidence for them, and then sort of changing down gear into tarot cards. But then I find you're working with spirit as well as your psychic energy, so it's a little bit of a mix. And then so the cards will bring in their messages and insight, but I feel that then spirit puts a bit of a twist on it and says, no, but she didn't do that. So they'll bring a little message for them as well, so I feel the message gets perhaps even deeper, because you've got spirit, whoever's in spirit, really caring for you, wanting to give you even more advice, or more, just as a deeper message, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's lovely to be able to mix the two.
And I think that's really important, because I think it's important for people to understand the difference between the two aspects of work, because it's quite a different energy space that you're working with. As well. So Selena, if you don't mind me asking, and don't worry if you haven't got your dates, but when's your dates for your next new course available? Is there you have a pre-booking list available?
I do. If anyone can go onto my website, selenajoylovett.com, and there's a subscription to the newsletter, which I put out monthly, and there's always a tarot scope that comes in, and any information of any events that are coming up. And then there will be a new course. I haven't put the date in yet. It's going to be either January or February. Depends a little, because I did have a live course planned in February in Salisbury for a long weekend.
Just stop you a moment there, Selena. Hold on 1 second. Your website, what is it again?
It's selenajoylovett.com.
Okay, so let me get rid of this. Hold on 1 second. So I'll put the wrong one in. I am sorry. Selena, yeah, because it came up that you sold bangles there. So
oh yes, I know Selena Joy. Yeah, the bangle lady.
The bangle lady. So I know you do more
nice
than
bangles.
Yeah.
Just shout out.
selenajoylovett.com.
Yeah, so if anyone signs up for the newsletter, it brings up any events that we're doing or I'm doing, and the dates of the next courses. There is a live one planned, but that really depends on all the restrictions. So it's hard to, I don't want to start putting it public until the new year. If not, I will be starting another online one in February, I should imagine.
Super, excellent.
If people just sign up, and I'll send them newsletters, and it's nice that they're on the newsletter anyway, because they'll have we're going to do some mediumship dems. Myself and Dawn are going to have a monthly session, I believe it will be, but we'll be coming on the 30th of October at 7 p.m. UK time to do some talks about moon magic, moon manifesting, the effect of the moons, and we're going to go and do a few speeches or a few spiritual chats, so that will all be advertised as well on the newsletter.
Super. So people can go onto your website and sign up. And so all the information, everyone, is on Selena's website, and even down to her cards, her books, all her courses, and where she is as well, where she is working as well. Becky's actually put, oh, hi Becky, hi Isadora as well. Thank you guys for coming on. Becky's actually put, I would love to learn more tarot if I get the time. But Becky, bless her, she's so busy at the moment. I've been watching her and trying to keep track of her. She's been like a busy bee. So we have been watching you, Becky, as well. So it's amazing. Also, do you use oracle cards as well?
I I love all sorts of cards. I've got angel cards, I've got oracle cards, I've got goddess cards, affirmation cards. You know, I tend to bring them in. I can be sitting talking to someone, especially when I've been working with quite a few younger people that are really stuck at the moment with, it's such a difficult time with all these restrictions and life just not being how it is. And a lot of people spending too much time indoors, and some of us love that. But for a lot of younger people, you know, they're in their tracksuit every day. A lot of people have been, I don't know, putting on weight or just not being bothered about themselves. So it's really making people feel very and then the worst thing is then you're sitting at home with your sort of stained tracksuit on the sofa chilling out, and you're going through Instagram or Facebook with all the Kardashians or whoever it is with big smiles, perfect lives, and a lot of people are just feeling really you know, I was going to say shit about themselves, and that's the only word you can use. You know, they're feeling really really down on themselves. So I think a lot of people have had to drag themselves up, and I find positive affirmations really, really help. So sometimes during a reading, when we're looking at different methods to or different tools that can help them get out of this slum that they, or you know, slump I should say, that they're in, and the positive affirmation cards come out. Sometimes, you know, I find that as I'm working with someone, I'll just get drawn to an angel card, and then they'll recognize that, or they'll say, yes, you know, my friend just done an angel. You know, there'll be some reason for it to come out. And a lot of the times the goddess cards, because I do work mainly with women, and a lot of the times the goddesses come out because it's to remind us all we are all goddesses. So there is that lovely empowering energy with them, you know. So yeah, so a lot of the time I just mix whatever. I've got usually most of them at hand. At the end of the day, I do try and put them away, but they all get mixed up. But these are the affirmation cards, which I find are great, you know, just to, at the end of a reading, to have, you know, a message, an affirmation given to you while you're connected either with spirit or doing tarot, you know, and then a message comes up that you may need to hear. You know, this is all about, I am willing to let go, and I release others. I release others to experience whatever is meaningful for them, and I'm free to create what is meaningful to me. You know, and it just can sometimes be something that they can then take a picture of at the end of the reading and have a little affirmation to, usually they're about how you, oh, that's just popped out, that's you. Divine.
I'm actually let me just hold you there. Keep that card, because do you know what, Selena? How about we do some cards? I'm a little excited now. Let's do some cards for
Lovely.
power, positivity, to help empower everybody. Okay, because at this moment, life is pretty tough, as you said. You know, life is pretty tough. So I think it's really quite nice. So guys, we are actually going to pull some cards. So I think we're just going to do a general rounder, shall we? So I think you should do the one that you just picked out.
Yeah, this one is absolutely amazing, and it speaks, I think, of all you do, Kerry, for everyone. So I think it's for everybody that's listening, that's on this journey that we're all doing together. But it's divine wisdom guides me. And look at the picture there. That's Kerry's eye.
That is beautiful.
And the message is I am guided throughout this day in making the right choices. Divine intelligence continuously guides me in the realization of my goals. I am safe. So that's a lovely little card, and they're so beautiful.
Super, absolutely. We've got those people now commenting. Claire's put, channel that power, ladies. Kirsty Denham's put, hello. Rachel McDonald's put, hi to you both. Just ordered Selena's cards. Amazing. So, okay, so you've just done the positive affirmation ones. I'm actually using some soul cards. I love these cards. So we're going to do some, like, a little bit about soul as well. Oh, look, they're all pinging out here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so we have the identity card. Okay, now for me, the identity card is about awakening yourselves, okay, about waking up to your own power and actually starting to really speak your voice, okay. So I feel here there's a lot of communication here that needs to be said, and also for self-discovery, guys, as well here. So it's all about self-discovery, and while we've got this time at the moment, okay, with how we're all indoors, we're all having to be at home and things like this, it is a perfect divine timing for self-discovery. So take that time out, each and every one of you, okay, take that time out, even if it's like 5 minutes throughout your day, just to reconnect with your own soul. Over to you, Selena. You can do one.
Okay. Which ones do I use? I've been playing with
oh gosh, mine are falling out. Oh my gosh, look, the same one's just fallen out again. How strange is that? Obviously, definitely a message in there, guys, so don't forget, work on yourselves, empower yourselves.
Right, this I'm using the Alice in Wonderland oracle cards. I love Alice in Wonderland. She's, I feel, you know. But this is, I wonder what will happen next. So I feel this is a little bit how we all are at the moment. You know, we're all sort of sitting around. It's a little bit what you've just said. You know, we are all sitting around. We are wondering what's happening next. Everything is very unpredictable, even for the psychics, you know. It's like, oh, I think that, you know, because there's so much happening and things are changing every day. So this is sort of saying, yeah, it's a really great time to pause, to have that time out, to think, to maybe even study, you know, look at things from a different angle. And so instead of living in the fear of the moment, because this predicament that we're in is creating fear, but I think this is sort of saying, instead of looking at it that way, look at it from a different perspective, and you can sort of sit back, use the time to educate yourself, to dream and to put yourself on the right track. And even it's almost like treading water, but knowing as soon as this pause, you're ready for action, and you've built yourself, you know, your bolt hole, or you've built your dreams. So you think, okay, as soon as I can get out, as soon as this changes, I'm going to start this, I'm going to do that. So it's time to make the background work for your future.
Beautiful, beautiful. So as Selena's been talking, I've actually pulled out, it's the work card, okay. So for this, actually, again, I want to take this into self-development again. I know I keep going on about self-development, guys, okay, but it's work on yourselves, okay. Nothing better to empower yourselves, okay, and to just take that little bit of time out, okay. And actually I want to say to you, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Start learning to love who you really are, okay, and let go of the stress, okay. I know it's easy for me to sit here and say that, but stress serves us no purpose, seriously, okay. And it's time for you to now actually just to sit back and go, do you know, I hand all of this over now for the highest good, okay. So I feel here, once we surrender into that space, it actually then frees us up, okay, and alleviates a lot of stress and anxiety. So there is going to be situations in your life that you cannot control at all the times, and that's okay. That's okay to do that, okay, to let go and to just let go and just to simply breathe. Okay, people, just let go, breathe. Over to you, Selena.
It's like play with cards time.
I know. Look at us. Now we're on a roll here, guys. We'll be here all night. Because we have loads of decks of cards.
Well, do you know what? As I was just thinking about the cards, I'll go and get my message from angel cards. So I got my angel cards out. Because with tarot, I think you always have to pull more to get, you know, it's hard just to do one card for everybody, or, you know.
Yeah. Can I just answer the, Anne Madden's just put on here, quite a lot of my cards tell me to speak my truth. Yeah. How do I do that? I want to say to you, Anne, is to sit within your own space, okay? Sit within the silence of your own self. and to really look at your own life and what you changes you may like to make, what goals and dreams and ambitions you still have and that you want to do. And it's actually then speaking that, okay, it's the communication here, okay, and don't ever be afraid to use your voice, because you know we have a voice for the communication. And as the saying goes, not everyone is psychic, okay? So sometimes people need to hear that voice of yours. And I believe that even if it's something that's upsetting you or anything like this, there's ways to go around and to communicate with people. You don't have to go all guns blazing, okay? You can just simplify it and observe it. And also, if there's something that you need to get off your chest with people, and this goes for everybody actually, don't go guns blazing. Just allow yourself to look at it and just think, is what I'm about to say going to change anything? Is it going to benefit me? And if you answer that to yes, then do it. But always do it with kindness and love. Hope that helped you, Anne. Over to you, Selena. Sorry.
I was just having a look at the comment to see something was flashing up on where they've seen it on my page. Right, as I was listening, I had a couple of cards that fell out. So I've got Aurora, who's brings in a lovely message. I don't know if you can see the picture there. But she says you're flying high right now, which may threaten others, but don't descend. So I feel this message is it's sometimes that we do live in a bit of a society where we are, sometimes it's almost like we're brought up to watch our backs, because there's groups that will talk about you, or people that are judgmental, or criticism, or there is a lot of criticism around. But this is sort of saying that regardless of that, it feels like it's time for you to step up and just start being yourself, regardless of you thinking that there's going to be criticism. It feels like you're going to start finding your own pace, finding your own self. And so just to keep on your pathway, regardless what other people think, regardless what they say, and just keep rising up. They do sort of say, or one of the messages that comes through is don't descend, because it's just a little bit like you're saying about speaking your truth. Once you start rising high in your vibration and following your pathway, there may be people that criticize you on the way because you're different, or you're doing things differently, wearing things differently, looking better, because when you start being happy and doing what you want to do, regardless of what other people think, you do start feeling more confident and bolder. And then other people will notice the difference, and then they will, so the people that sort of may criticize you will then start perhaps following you, or following, thinking, yeah, well, she did that, she broke free, or she started doing that. And then you empower others to start speaking their truth or living their truth. So it's such a wonderful thing to do. So it feels, time to break away from the crowd and just follow your beliefs and fly high, because you will inspire others.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it? That's a lovely card.
Yeah, it is. It is. Unfortunately, it's one of the things that I feel we've spoken about, or I speak about quite a lot. I think nowadays it's become very fashionable to have these reality shows on the TV, and so there's people that criticize, oh, look at her, she's got black hair, or look at her, she's blonde, or look at it, and it's become quite a habit now, which I didn't really have to grow. I mean, yes, there was pictures at school, and life's full of it, but now it just seems it's like general conversation to put somebody's appearance first, and to be very judgmental. I don't know whether it's the TV shows that have pushed society towards this, and it does feel it's a real shame. So I also feel this comes up, it's almost like the judgment card. If you start focusing on yourself, and you then become less criticizing of others, you don't care because you're happy in yourself, and then the less you start criticizing or gossiping, then other people fall off, and they don't do the habit themselves, if that makes sense. So it just feels like, is that uplifting? it's all too easy just to sit back and criticize others, but it's harder to take that step forward and start being yourself or speaking your truth, whatever it is.
Absolutely, and it's quite a powerful thing, isn't it, about speaking your truth and empowerment, you know. And as you was doing that, actually, I pulled out the autumn card. Now, I must admit, I love autumn. I love the colour of the trees, all the leaves and everything. It's really nice and rich colours. But for me, actually, guys, and I actually want to share this with you all, because I do this time of year, I like to recuperate myself. And I take time to be at home. Okay, I write, I do a lot of journaling and things like this. And for me, this card in the autumn is about stripping away all the old residue and the debris that's caught up with us within life. So it's really nice to actually, and where I live, I'm very fortunate because it's very quite rural. So it's really important, guys, if you can, okay, is to wrap up, okay, get some boots on and get outdoors, okay, even if you can just walk to the park, obviously social distance, okay, but even if it's just a matter of walking to the park or walking down the road, okay, get out, get with nature. Nature has a beautiful natural healing element, and there's nothing better than to be with nature, and especially within the autumn, because it's all about stripping back, letting go of what doesn't serve you any purpose anymore, okay, and it allows you then for this time of year to be at home and to recuperate and to recharge. I feel actually even the last week or so, I've spent quite a bit of time at home, and I've actually allowed myself to just simply just be, and to not do anything, and to just allow myself some time for me and to recharge myself. And there's nothing better as well than going out for that walk. And Kelly's actually put on it, I feel better when I'm in the woods. So do I. And that was Aurora, breathing the greenery. Absolutely. Because it's nature's way again of helping you to cleanse and recuperate your energy. And that's what I feel we all need to do at this time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I find it so beautiful. We've had really, really windy weather, but to head up, so I live near the beach, but there's no chance it's like sandstorms. But it's so nice to go walking up the woods, and it just blows the cobwebs, and those cobwebs are literally like the energetic cobwebs that are in your mind, and you come back, and it's like it combs through your brain, and you come back really, really refreshed. But I think it really, no matter what's going on in your life, if you sit at home thinking about it too much, it consumes you. When you go outside and connect with nature, it's just a big release, isn't it? And it brings in a lot more calmness, and you get back to basics and you start thinking, oh God, it's such a big world out here. You know, it's so amazing that it sometimes puts your problems into perspective, and you think,
and you know, sometimes I have 9 dogs. Okay, so and they have to be walked every day, and sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to go for that walk? However, when I do, and when I get home, I feel completely replenished. And it's so important, okay, for you to have that replenishment, okay, and then you can come back and get back in your PJs. That's fine.
It's so refreshing. I always think you feel so good when you do it. It's like if you don't get anything else done, if you just go out for a bit of a walk, it just makes you feel like you've achieved something or done something. It just feels good. Yeah, lovely to get out.
Absolutely. And it does make a massive difference, definitely, you know. And that I actually had a deck of cards actually, and it's all about nature.
Oh, lovely.
I'm actually going to get them down from here.
You've got to do one more.
I love them. These are my personal cards, actually.
Oh, what one's that?
These are called
they're lovely, aren't they?
Warriors, okay. Now, if anybody knows me, I do, even though I'm a medium, okay, I do delve in a lot of other different practices. Okay, down to shamanic, the shamanic aspect, okay, and also many different other ones of chanting and things like this, you know. So, and I think it's really nice to have a complete variety, you know. And so these are my personal cards, guys, but look at these, look at this artwork.
Getting closer, getting closer. Oh, wow. Oh, they're beautiful, aren't they?
They are absolutely stunning. And these called me when I was at a fair, actually. So, and I was at this fair, and Crystal Atlantis, she's an amazing shamanic practitioner, by the way. She had these cards, and there was one pack left. And she was very much, and I had a treatment with her, and then afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, them cards are calling me.
They're mine.
Becky's just put, I want them. Okay, now this is really interesting because they do have quite an in-depth meaning, and I do not like to put my own interpretation on these cards. Okay, I really take them because these cards are a bit of a ritual card.
Yeah.
And I'm very much about into doing my own rituals. And this one is called the Goddess, okay, the Goddess card. And she guards the waters of life. The ancient guardian mother protects the waters of life, and her protection and blessing. Her appearance augurs a time of purification and cleansing, leading to an enhanced fertility. You all are the creator. Listen to this. How beautiful is this? You all are a creator of a new consciousness for this world. A generator of positive energy is needed to keep yourself nourished and vitalized, and to be helpful with others and the mainstream of nature. Unite together and support and empower each other. In the deep depths of your soul, sometimes you have to do the cleansing to repair the reservoir of consciousness within your soul and purity, and for the love that you can share for others. You are fully protected throughout the whole duration of this process.
Oh, lovely.
And this world has a beautiful, loving energy of consciousness and needs each and every one of you to awaken. How appropriate.
That is beautiful. Yeah, so profound. And what timing.
Again, as we said earlier, divine timing, Selena. Yeah. You know, divine timing. And this is the thing, you find this, don't you, I think, with cards and any tools of divination. You know, you always get what is needed, you know, yes, at that given
whether
time.
You want it or not, whether you want to hear it or not.
And this is the thing, guys, sometimes what we want and what we need are two different things, but it will always be for your highest of good.
Yeah.
You see, so it's yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? So so Selena, it's been amazing talking with you this evening.
Got my cards to play with.
I know, we could spend hours on here, you know, absolute hours. But it's but however, Selena, as I say, Selena does have pre-bookable courses available at the moment. I know that there's a waiting list. Okay, so please, if you are interested in learning the tarot, and or even if you already understand a tarot but would like to take it to more an advanced level, you can also do that, because I know Selena offers different aspects and different levels of the tarot, because as she said earlier on, it's a continuous journey, isn't it, Selena?
It is. And what I've been doing a lot lately, I've always done tarot spells, which I love. I mean, when people say spells, it's not too witchy woo. It's just really using your focus so it brings the tarot cards to life, allows you to focus, and it brings you a ritual. I suppose it's a little bit like having a vision board, because you use your tarots to bring the magic of the tarots to life, so you can start manifesting and doing tarot manifesting and tarot magic. So I'm trying to do, or I hope to do, a workshop about that in the near future to add on, because again, the course, there's only so many weeks you can study. So it's a 9-week course, and then afterwards I shall be offering different lessons or different workshops, I hope, to
yeah. And I know you're also going to put on an offer at Christmas, aren't you? You said as well, for pre-bookable. So guys, if you know someone who's spiritual, nothing better than to buy them a deck of cards or a course or something else. It is,
because I think that a lot of the time people think, oh, it's this tarot, it's some, it's something. But tarot, I think now has to be marketed like a self-help tool. And so to get up of a morning and to pick a card and just think, okay, what's my day going to be like today? How am I going to cope with this interview? How am I going to cope with this? And pick up a card and think, how am I going to cope with things? Okay, don't listen to the argument in my mind, or listen to the high priestess, listen to my gut feeling, my intuition, meditate. So with whatever situation comes up in your friend's life, or whoever you want to buy the cards for, or even yourself, it more than anything, it's a great self-help tool, and it's so magical once you start. It's such an addiction. How am I feeling? Oh my god. You think, no. But yeah, so they are a great empowering self-helping tool.
And the thing is, as well, Selena, everybody has this beautiful gift. We all have been born with a beautiful gift of the psychic awareness, our intuition, and you can really, really learn to fine tune that to such an art of where you can help other people. You can use it for your daily life, your daily decisions, and things like this. So all of this coincides with the tarot as well, because you can use them as a tool, as a prop as well, for your own intuition of your psychic, because everyone has this beautiful gift that we're so freely born with.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
And I think the thing is once you start playing with the cards and thinking, oh, I knew that, or it's just confirming what you already knew. You already know not to date that guy, and then when you ask the cards, what's he like? Oh, he's a loser. I knew that. Don't date him. But then you can think, okay, yeah, my intuition is correct. Or even if you pick a card and think, oh, I feel that's what's going to happen, and then you confirm, and then your intuition just develops and develops. The more you pay attention to your intuition, the more it grows, and the more strength and confidence and faith and trust that you have in it. So it does make your life so much easier. Yeah, definitely,
absolutely. So it's all there for you guys. Okay, so again, if you go through the comments, Selena's website is on there. I will just pop this back on again. And while I'm doing that, Kelly's actually asked Selena, how do you unblock yourself? If you'd like to answer her.
Well, do you know what? When I come across blocks, that I ask myself, what's my block? Because I think the biggest thing is identifying your block. So if you're using tarot to identify your block, and you think, okay, well, my biggest block is fear. Then it's finding some tools that will help you focus on lifting and breaking that energy rather than focusing on fear. So I think the first thing is sitting and meditating, or identifying your block, or using tarot and just asking what is blocking me, and then working a way to go through it. Usually our fears are usually our blocks are fear-based. So a lot of the time it can just be looking at the problem rationally and thinking, okay, what am I really scared of? What's the worst that can happen? Or does it really matter if that does happen? So it's looking at perhaps the fear. Sometimes it's letting go of things. And so sometimes you think, okay, you know, but if this is my block, I can stay like this forever, or do I really wish and want to go somewhere else to change? And then it's adapting little ways of letting go of things slowly. You know, it doesn't have to be when you identify a block that you have to the next day get rid of it. It just means you have to slowly work through it. And there's so many methods of going through it, whether it's meditation, self-hypnosis, you know, just doing some tapping or doing some positive affirmations. There's lots of little ways. It really depends on the block. I hope that answers that.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing is, sometimes we just have to really sort of get over that and confront it, don't we? And sort of work through it. It can take a bit of time.
It takes time, but I think a lot of the time it is sort of saying, okay, what blocks me? And even if you're using tarot, when you think of what blocks me, you tend to know that, oh God, it's the fear of letting go of my ex, because it means that I really am acknowledging that it's over, or I've acknowledged that something's failed, or, you know, so it's like facing the truth. But once you do face it, it can be such a relief. And then there's so many ways forward, even if it's journaling. I mean, journaling is such a great way to get in touch with yourself and to get the anger out that may be blocking you, or the tears, or the frustration, or the disappointment, and just to be very truthful. Because when we talk to others, we're not very truthful about how we really feel. Oh yeah, we broke up, but it's okay. I don't care.
we try. We just try and switch it off away and sort of just sweep it under that carpet and look at everything else.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, again, it's that, you know, because something happens and it's the Facebook smiles. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I've lost my job, but you know, and so this is sort of the only person sometimes you can feel comfortable enough to be honest enough with is yourself. And so you can really start, you know, writing your fears down or your feelings. You can burn it, you can lock it away, or, you know, nobody else has to see it, but it's really acknowledging how you feel. And I think that's when you start unlocking the truth and crying those tears, or whatever it is, or stamping your feet, ripping the pages up. But it's sort of facing the truth, and then you can work through that what blocks you. Yeah,
absolutely. And the thing is, you know, we have this choice to, you know, we can work through this, and even through some of the painful emotional stuff, we need to let it go, because, you know, otherwise it's like getting up, the way I describe it's like getting up and putting a rucksack on every day full of all of past stress and strain and tension, but it doesn't serve us any purpose anymore. So, you know, let it go. No, I'm not going to
and it's so exhausting to do so. And it's, you know, I feel it's one of the biggest blocks that you come up when people are really trying hard to start new relationships. And you think, yeah, but you've got all your past experiences in, and you're both not being very honest with yourself because you're both so scared, or you've got all these comparisons. So it really is important to clean it out and empty that rucksack, because if not, it just stops you connecting in a new life or new situations sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite interesting, isn't it? So we have come to the end of time. Selena, we have been talking
end of time.
Seriously, you don't think sometimes about what I say. But we've been on here talking for a whole hour. Okay. So I would like to thank you so much, Selena, for sharing your time with me this evening, sharing your knowledge and your experiences. So thank you. Thank you to everybody that's come on this evening as well. You know, again, you know, if you follow Selena on Facebook, everything is on our Facebook, on our website. And we also have, I've got an announcement. We've got a next week. I have Dawn Smith, psychic medium, joining me next week. So we are going to be talking mediumship. And also we're going to be talking mediumship, okay, next week. But we are also going to be talking about trance mediumship, which is amazing. So please keep an eye on my Facebook. Okay, everything is always on here or on my website, kerrystandfast.com. And come along and join us, guys. Join us for some mediumship next week, which will be amazing. And Dawn is a phenomenal medium, so I'm so pleased to be doing this as well. But again, thank you so much, Selena, for sharing everything with us.
It's been lovely being here. Oh, lovely. I can't see anyone, but bye.
Oh, take care, everybody. Bye.
That's it.
That's it. I think we've stopped live stream, have we? Hold on.
Oh, we've got people already.
Oh, that's me playing it already.
Nikki.
It's deja vu I've got, Kerry.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so we're not doing that now. So let's